So what's up, guys? I'm here at Canon. Well, actually I'm underneath Canon. I just found some parking space. I don't know if this is a reserved parking or not, so I'm hoping it's not. Otherwise I'm gonna make another video where I'm stranded and I have to get tow or something. Anyways, so we're here at Canon and we're gonna test out the new Canon mirrorless camera, which I'm pretty stoked for. I just need to find the elevators. Hey, this thing's a maze. I think I just found him. Cool. So I'm back from the Canon event at Burbank where I got to play with the new Canon R mirrorless camera, and I came back here because I wanted to really give my open and honest opinion to you guys and not really offend anybody at Canon should they hear what I have to say and for any reason be offended or disappointed or whatever it may be. I'm a little bit more comfortable here anyway, so I might as well just come back, save them, and let it loose here. But yeah, it was a really good event. It was really fun. I got to see some of their cool facilities, like their color grading studio, their camera focusing and lens focusing charts and stuff like that, and their little theater room, which I thought was really sweet. But the main reason we were there was for the Canon R. I mean, the mirrorless camera that just came out, and I was super stoked because I am such a big gear nerd and stuff like that, and I do shoot Sony and I have a lot of my Sony gear, but I will always and forever be a Canon fanboy. I mean, I grew up shooting them, and my first DSLR was a Canon 60D, so I gotta say I will always have like a special place in my heart for them. This mirrorless camera coming out has me questioning, is it time for me to switch back? Again, I mean, that's the ultimate question, right? Should you switch to Canon from your Canon or from Sony back? It's a big question, and we're gonna answer that. So let's just get started with the basics of the camera. If you're watching this video, you already probably know a little bit about it. You at least know it exists, but I'll just reiterate the spec sheet, what it's really about, and then we'll go into my opinions in depth about what the camera is. Starting off, it's called the Canon R. It's a really tough name for some reason. For whatever reason it may be, I just have such a tough time saying it. I mean, I probably messed up the name, and it's just a single letter, but I'm just not used to saying it. But whatever, I'll just try to get through it. It's a mirrorless camera with 30 megapixels. It's a full frame sensor. Yes, thank God they finally did it, which I was really stoked for. I mean, if you thought this was a crop sensor, I don't know what you're even doing here. I mean, this is a full frame. We're playing with the big boys now. It's in the big leagues. But yeah, pretty stoked. It is pretty much equivalent to the Canon 5D Mark IV in terms of megapixels, but overall I think it's more equivalent to something like the 6D Mark II. That's kind of really where it resonates for me in terms of the body feel and in terms of like what you really get with the camera in terms of customization and just user interface and stuff like that. So I feel like the 6D is a little bit more towards where this is going to, and as well as the market and the audience that this is trying to hit. So unfortunately, this camera only has one card slot, so for any of you out there who feel like they definitely cannot get by with just one, you're probably gonna have to go to a different camera because you're not gonna get it with this one. And for me personally, it's never really been an issue. It's just nothing that's really come up. I know the benefits of having more than one, obviously having redundancies, and if you're gonna be recording through one full card and going to the next one, it saves some time between switching out cards. And I get it, I understand, I know where you're coming from, but it's not a deal breaker. If you are gonna be the kind of person that's gonna be vlogging and stuff like that, you're obviously gonna have some time, and I really wouldn't give too much thought into it, and I wouldn't consider another camera if one is going to be fine for you, which for most people it will be, especially the target demographic that this camera is aiming for. The good news is the battery will stay the same if you're switching from a Canon 6D or Canon 5D or any camera that has the LPE6 battery pack. That thing is going to be the same, so you don't have to worry about them. Anything that you have that's existing will be usable. It's going to transfer over, so you don't have to buy new batteries, which is always a pain. If you're going to buy a new camera, you have to worry about stuff like that. Just buying not just the camera itself or the lenses, it's buying all the little things that go with it. Obviously, if you don't have a battery, you can't use the camera. So that's the good thing about this camera, is that it's migratable, I guess is what you would call it. going on to the body feel, it is a nice camera. It's distinctively Canon. I mean, obviously it looks like any other camera out there, but it obviously feels a little bit more like Canon. The grip does, the overall texture of the camera feels Canon. And what I really do like about this is the grip itself. The grip is really grippy. Like, it's really weird to say, but it's really nice and deep. You're not going to get too much fatigue from holding it. Your pinky is not going to dangle down like it would in like some of the smaller mirrorless cameras out there. The bad thing is that it doesn't feel like an expensive camera. The 5D and the 6D both feel grippy, and they both feel really dense, as well as some of the Sonys and, you know, the Nikons. They feel really dense, they feel heavy, but this one feels a little bit light. I would have really liked it for it to be a little bit heavy. I know it's weird, but if it felt a little bit heavier, I would have felt more confident that I was holding a real serious piece of gear instead of something that's a little bit more cheap and, you know, consumer grade. But I get that this is also going to be a little bit more of a travel and vlogger type oriented camera, so they didn't want it to be super heavy. So I just want to touch on the buttons and the layout of the camera, and I just want to say that it's not my personal favorite. I see where they're going with the little slider that they have on there, but I much rather have had one of those little thumb joystick things. I think that would have been a lot more, you know, usable than having a little slider that you can adjust. Yeah, it's cool that you can adjust your white balance and, you know, assign that to your ISO and stuff like that, but I think having a dial there or just the little joystick would have been a lot more usable. I don't particularly like it at all. I mean, it's like having the touch bar on the MacBook Pro. I don't like it. So that brings us to the end of the video, and back to the question of whether or not you should buy this camera or not, and whether I'm gonna buy this camera or not. And this camera is really nice. I mean, it has a lot of potential. There's a lot of drawbacks to the camera and the lenses that are going to go with it, but I just don't foresee myself buying this camera. And whether or not you should buy it is really up to you. If you're someone that has the need to buy like the newest thing, then for sure go out and buy it. I mean, you're not going to listen to my opinion anyway, but if you're someone who really takes the step and is actually more careful and, you know, more professional, you're really going to consider, like, is this the best option? Should I just buy a Canon 6D Mark II and just buy lenses to kind of equate to the same thing? Or should I move to this new system, buy the adapter that's extra in order to fit like all the lenses that I already have? It really weighs on you, and for me personally, it's not going to be something that I'm going to jump over to anytime soon. Unfortunately, Canon hasn't made anything that really catches my eye, and that's really sad because I really want them to draw me back in, but so far not gonna happen. But, you know, I'm just really happy overall that they finally got to the parking lot at the arena where everyone else is playing this mirrorless camera game. But yep, that's pretty much it for me today. Hopefully this helps you guys out. But yeah, I'll see you guys later on the next one. Thank you guys for joining me. See you guys on the next video. I said that twice. Bye.